Friends, we are going to discuss a very good case law recently delivered by the Honorable High Court of AP under section 319 CRPC. So the crux of the core issue is whether the deleted accused from the list of accused of the charge sheet can be called back and proceeded for the trial by the court. This is a question mark. Section 319 CRPC, of course, it answers it well, but it has been clarified in the case of Boya Kajji Peda Ambaraju, Boya Kajji Peda Ambaraju versus State of Andhra Pradesh. In the criminal revision petition number 533 by 2015 by Honorable Justice Chikati Manavendra Roy. It was the judgment delivered, the revision order, the judgment was delivered on 21/5/2020, very recently it has been given. He has reiterated that according to section 319 CRPC, that section 319 CRPC gives a power to the judge to proceed against the other persons appearing to be guilty of the offence. That means where during the trial or during the inquiry it appears that any person not being the accused, any person whose name was deleted or at least a new person, any person not being the accused committed any offence, the court may proceed against such person together with the already undergoing trial accused persons. So if necessary, he can be re-arrested also. Please remember, could be tried. It is only a direct reward. It is not mandatory. Could be tried. If the Honorable Court thinks, they can try. If not, none. So this was already reiterated in the famous case of Jarnail Singh versus State of Haryana 2003. But since it is a latest judgment, we have to follow the latest judgments. Now let us go through the contents of the latest judgment. Peda Ambaraju versus State of AP. Here what happened is, normally this is a murder case. So on 25/5/2010, almost 10 years back, 25/5/2010, at about 12:15 p.m., the father of the deceased name I will tell you, Ambanna, it is from that Karnool district, Adoni area. Ambanna, he was murdered. So his son Mallanna, so he is the de facto complaint, Mallanna, who was also coming back along with the deceased from the fields. Both of them were coming back from the fields and he saw the accused A1 to A10. A1 and A10 means A1 to A11. He has identified A1 to A11. So attacking the deceased with deadly weapons at Gulyam village. This is near Alur, almost outskirts of border of AP state, Gulyam village. So while both of them were returning from the fields, and he was attacked, he received multiple injuries, and he died. Right? Immediately, this man went to the police station of Alur PS, and a case in crime number 18/2010 was registered in Alur police station under sections 147, 148, 302, 506 IPC, read with 120B conspiracy and 149 IPC, and of course all the 11 accused, A1 to A11, they have been figured as accused in the FIR. Of course the investigation was done. During the investigation was done. During the course of investigation, the witnesses, LWs 1 to 11, so they were examined by the police, and LWs 1 to 11 categorically stated that they were present. Of course, all these circumstantial evidence and section 6 of the Evidence Act, they stated that they saw A1 to A6 only committed the offence, not the others, not those 5 others, A1 to A6. Of course, practically I think except A1, the others are also quite new persons. Whatever it is, only 6 persons committed the offence, not the others. And to substantiate the same, then the police examined some other witnesses, that is LW 12 to 18, and they stated that so these 6 accused committed the murder. Then once again the higher officers, DSP cadre person, once again examined LWs 1 to 11. So they stated that they were misguided or they were carried away by the village elders. They wanted to implicate these people, therefore they stated. Of course, now they are happy that only A1 to A6 committed the offence, right? A1 to A6 were arrested, and the charge sheet was also laid before the that Adoni magistrate or somebody, Adoni magistrate, right? So he has given the PRC number. Then the matter was taken up. It was committed to the sessions also. Now the Honorable Second ADJ Kurnool, he was conducting the trial of the case, right? So please remember, the Honorable Magistrate at the stage of PRC itself, since the accused were some of the accused were deleted, A1 to 6 only charged, the other accused were deleted. So therefore they have given a notice to the complainant or PW1 or the son of the deceased and asked his objection. Already previously 173 clause 2 is also there. Whenever you are going to refer a case, at the 173 clause 2 CRPC says, whenever you are going to refer a case, the Honorable Court is directed to serve a notice on him. So basing on the notice, they will call the complainant and ask him whether he is satisfied with the investigation, whether the accused deleted were correct or not. All these things they will ask him, and if he is not satisfied, they will also club them at the stage 173 clause 2. Likewise, the magistrate asked them, but the complainant filed no objection memo. He is satisfied that A1 to A6 committed the offence, and the trial, if go against them, is sufficient. Right? Okay, now the matter went to the case of committal proceedings, Sessions Court to Sessions Court of 2. So the trial will take place, definitely takes a lot of time. But during the trial, when PW1 was examined, he has reiterated the story in the FIR. So he has stuck to his guns. He stated whatever he told the police in his first 161 statement. That means he alleged that A1 to A11 attacked his father and caused his murder. Now once again he twisted the case. Now what to do? The Honorable Judge, actually these accused during the course of investigation, they were held to be innocent persons, but during the course of trial, PW1 held their names, categorically stated, he categorically attributed the overtax. A1 hit my father at so-and-so, A2 pounced with so-and-so, A3 with a stick, A4 with a all these things he has categorically stated, and the injuries are also comparatively comparable. So now the judge, using the powers under section 319 CRPC, he has summoned, so of course he has directed the additional PP to file a memo in this regard. So as per the dicta of the judge, the additional PP filed a memo because the investigation disclosed the complicity of the other accused also. They may be summoned. He has filed a memo. Of course it was allowed, and now all the people they have to take trial. So based or aggrieved by the order of the Honorable Court, it's not a judgment, order. So aggrieved by this order, they have gone to the High Court. So normally their plea revision, you may be knowing, under section 401 CRPC, I think 401 CRPC, he will go for revision. So against any order, not appeal. Please remember, this is a revision, right? So in this revision, they alleged that already the police have done satisfactory investigation. The investigation clearly stated, it disclosed that the appeal revision petitioners, they were not at all involved, therefore they were deleted. And with the concurrence of the PW1 and even the Honorable Court also, Magistrate Court was also satisfied because he filed no objection memo. But now he wanted to implicate once again all the persons. Of course, of course he is not satisfied with the money or some monetary things or something, they alleged like that. Anyway, and they stated the Honorable Court did not consider the version of the magistrate, did not consider the correct investigation. by the police, and since PW1 with an ulterior motive stated that all these people are involved, then the honorable judge wanted to implicate all of them. With these allegations, they have come for the revision. Right now, Honorable Justice Chikati Manavendra Roy, so he held that it is a fit case to initiate proceedings under 319 CRPC, because there may be so many reasons. Of course, this relates to Sessions case number 670 by 2011. So there may be so. The accused might have influenced the so-called PW1, that is son of the deceased, who may be victim, who may be poor man, who may be not having that much of guts to challenge them in the village. And the power politics today which are happening, definitely the party in power or the powerful people or the village elders, they might have asked him to shut his mouth and not level allegations against the accused. So, is the court so powerless? If the powerful people, they want to downplay the case, no doubt. If it is true, it's okay. If it is not true, if the statement of PW was true, then all the accused should be tried together. Is it not? Of course, they might have influenced the police, they might have influenced the PW1 at the stage. Now, in spite of the influence by the so-called accused persons, on behalf of the accused persons, he came to the court and openly stated all these things, and the injuries also tallying. He has leveled allegations against all the accused. He has verbatim given the FIR, and also he has stuck to his guns. That this is an indication that previously he was threatened, previously he was managed. Of course, police also became a stooge in the hands of the so-called powerful political people. It may have happened. So it is for the court to decide whether the allegations are true or not. So therefore, the very purpose of section 319 CRPC is to see that the real perpetrator cannot go scot-free and cannot go unpunished. So the investigation agency, for many reasons, does not array or delete some of the accused, even though they are real culprits. Therefore, the court is not powerless in calling the said accused to come back and face the trial. Ultimately, the Honorable Court held that the revision petition is dismissed. They cannot claim that the investigation of the police correct and they should not be called all in. So this is the power of the court, please remember. That's why, even though we know, we have to be cautious in this particular aspect. Very recently, I have faced one such case, I will tell you. So, a person committed suicide outside a newly under construction mall. Of course, it is with the, actually he was vexed with the attitude of his wife who threatened him, and since he is not able to get money, so he was vexed with her attitude and also vexed with the partners, and he committed suicide. Right? So the body was hanging there. The police came and removed the body. Next day, the matter was reported. And of course, the police officer conducted investigation, and he found some people responsible and charged them under section 3046 CRPC. Now the point is, APP, additional PP, wanted to implicate the owner of the mall as the accused under section 319 CRPC. She has literally threatened. She is a woman. She has literally threatened. Why that owner has not reported the matter? It's the fact that his security guard has reported the matter. He was there at some other place, not at the particular place. But still, the woman, the additional PP, wanted to implicate him that the owner should have hand in this killing, and they might have murdered him and twisted it to a case of 174 CRPC. Ultimately, they wanted to charge innocent people under section 306 CRPC. Of course, the material evidence is not there. The judge was, in the initial stage, the judge was also supporting the additional PP. Of course, no memo was filed, nothing happened. But anyway, such things are there. 319 CRPC, it's a dangerous thing. As defense lawyers, you must know The court can implicate anybody, not only the persons in the list of charge sheet, in the list of the accused or array of accused or charge sheet list, but they can add anybody if necessary. If there is, of course, there should be some evidence. This is a good case. Please read it. Thank you.